Hello, welcome. Thanks for taking the time to learn more about Active Demand. And we have a series of webinars that we've been doing about different parts of the platform, and definitely one of the most important parts of the platform, and it's relatively new, is our CRM platform. So about me, and so basically with this presentation, we're going to go through a bunch of slides. I'm going to give you a quick run through about some of the things that are going on with the CRM. So this is me. I'm your presenter today, Sean. If we haven't chatted before, then hello, and if we've chatted before, hi, welcome. And yeah, so I'm the CEO of Active Demand, and I'm definitely involved in the product vision, everything that's going on with the product, and definitely for many of you folks, I've been on calls with you and helping you with scaling your business. So today we're going to talk about a little bit of context about driving business for your agency, and I'll talk about some of the common operational challenges that are facing many of our clients today. And then I'm going to talk specifically about our sales platform. Now, I think everybody on the call has seen this diagram at one time or another. It's our marketing and sales funnel diagram. And at the top is basically our marketing funnel. There's the sales funnel. Sales funnel is where our salespeople are engaged. Everybody know, and typically as marketers, our job is helping prospects to get into the sales funnel, making it easier for folks to sell, etc. And really the marketing funnel is much larger than the sales funnel by design, because there's way more people up here at the top that don't know about your agency's products or services, that would like to know about your products or services. And really it's a case that Active Demand is typically, the tool set used by everybody on the call for applying pressure to a large population of people with the intent of accelerating people towards our sales organization. Now, what's interesting is it's like mechanics is, the mechanic's car is always in a bit rough shape, and I argue that a lot of agencies spend a lot of their time, more of their time, focused on doing marketing for others as opposed to themselves. And also it's a case that sales as well, where agencies were helping other people close business, but again, we're maybe not really focusing on how we as a company are closing new business and executing. We definitely have the story once we get the business, but closing new business is something that's a little bit, I would say, it's a new concept for many agencies. So what's a little bit different in this picture that is typically the case for agencies than many of your clients, is there's a second funnel, right? Is that here it's the case we've closed the business, now we're in full execution mode, and we're usually expanding the business with our clients as well. And again, we're using Active Demand as the tool set for scaling our operations. We're using the tool set for delivering and, more importantly, demonstrating results for our clients. So Active Demand is used up here for generating new leads and business for the agency through the marketing funnel, and definitely most folks on the call are really know Active Demand for this part of the story, where they're using it for operations and doing this funnel operations for clients as opposed to for the agency themselves. Now, for the agency themselves, it's really, and I think this is true for whether you're marketing for yourselves or for clients, is definitely at the top we have prospects, and then there's these people who've identified themselves, or we've identified through referrals or meetups or whatever it is, where they have a need, we have the services that match that need, but we haven't signed any paper. These are really what we view as opportunities or deals in this part of the funnel. And then down below, it's clients. We know where the clients, what we're doing with the clients is really success, get the clients onboarded and start delivering results for the clients. Now, if we think about functional groups inside the agency, typically at the top of the funnel, it's it's quite often not marketing, which is really interesting, but it should be marketing up at the top. But definitely it's a case that our executives or people in the company or account managers are out meeting with clients at meetups or whatever, and connecting with folks and introducing themselves, but definitely there should be marketing at the top. But once we get the deal or the opportunity identified, then definitely it's the sales executive, or it's a salesperson, I should say, or an executive. Definitely we're starting to bring in account managers in the story, because it's the case that if we're engaging with a client, what is promised has to be delivered by the operations team. So usually our account executives are involved in the scoping of what the initial engagement with the client is, et cetera. And then once the client is onboarded, then we're definitely with account managers and operations, and it's the case that we're typically executing on what we promised to deliver. This is the story for new clients. And then there's a iterative approach that most agencies go through, where they're expanding the operations or expanding the engagement with the really good clients. And that's really where the majority of the growth is happening, is down here with expansion. And we all know, as well as agencies, we're typically executing on the operations side. We have lots of project management software or task software or stuff that really helps us project manage and execute and make sure we're making a profit in all of this, right? We're not, none of the agency on the phone today are doing, sure, it's fun, but the reality is, at the end of the day, it's about keeping the lights on. And so the better we are at execution, the better we are at growing and scaling our agency. Now, the challenge I see with many agencies is that really these tools are also moved up the chain, and they are used for this part of the story, where there's prospecting and marketing engagement, trying to get new clients. And I argue there's some significant challenges that this strategy creates. And what I argue is really to address the problem head on. Really, what you need is a CRM. Right, I think that if you've done any CRM integrations for clients, and the biggest challenge they all face as businesses when they choose and use a CRM is really getting salespeople to use it. And I argue the project management tools, yes, they're fantastic for operations, but yeah, salespeople, I've been on lots of calls with salespeople for agencies, and let me tell you, they'll typically go buy their own CRM so that they can do their job properly. Now, really, how do agencies use CRMs today? And I argue if I put up a survey here, we'd have all kinds of responses, but some of the common responses would be, yeah, we have one, but we don't really use it. It's other than just a contact management tool, and for you older folks on the call, a Rolodex, or other people, like I just mentioned, they're using project management software, or people know who we are. Our business is growing because of our connections. We don't really need a CRM. That's another response that would be quite common. And definitely everybody on the operations side, a CRM is where our clients' leads that we work so hard to deliver, that's the place they go to die, because the salespeople aren't chasing them. So there's definitely, if we ask an agency about a CRM, these are some of the common responses we'd hear. Now, there's definitely some operational challenges that I think all agencies face, and I think that this is the big one. And it isn't just agencies that have this problem. I argue many businesses have this problem. There's no single version of the truth that encompasses the entire client life cycle, right? And there is a life cycle from first time we meet the client, all the way through to bringing them on the honeymoon phase, and then there's the execution and growth phase, et cetera. So there is a true life cycle that we have with our clients, and there is not a single version of the truth as far as where anybody in the company can just go look and see what the status of this client is. And like if you think about an elephant, you know, there's a old parable about an elephant, one person, three blind men touching, or mice touching an elephant, and one's touching its leg and thinking, oh boy, I'm touching a wall. Someone touching its nose thinking, you know, boy, I'm touching a snake, etc. It's because there is no single version of the truth, everybody is in this situation where, you know, there's this lack of context for how or where a client is, right? Now, it's a case that there's no single place where we can, as a company across functional groups, codify knowledge, communicate state of a client, and collaborating both internally as well as externally. Now, each functional group will say, you know what, I've got the solution, but the reality is it's not there. And there's multiple core data stores, what I would say, that every organization has. For agencies, it's definitely the project management software, Google Drive, you know, things spread out in documents, slide decks, sheets, etc. And then definitely there's a lot of tribal knowledge. Go ask Fred. Fred knows, right? Or, oh, I think Mary knows that, right? There's this tribal knowledge that the agency has for codifying and sharing. Clearly, there's some challenges you see. Now, challenges with this existing approach is that, again, it ends up being replication of work. Client stories are captured, but you know, not shared, or we have to move it during the different phases of the client engagement. There's no universal system for notifying and workflows for task management across functional group, and there's no place where we say from role-specific visibility across the organization is, where is this client right now? What is the current risks for this client, etc. Now, as a marketing agency, we all know how much effort it takes to get a new client in the door, right? It's significant amount of effort. And for new clients, there's lots of things that can go wrong, right? Or if we think about prospects, one is we can lose a opportunity to another agency that's hungrier and absolutely working hard to close the business, where we maybe are sleeping a little bit and we miss the opportunity. Or worse, we get a deal and we overpromise and undercharge, right? I'm sure everybody on this call has been in a situation like that, where what was promised is going to be way more expensive for the agency to deliver than what we're actually have on the contract. So the agency is going to have to eat those costs. And everyone, you know, you think about this, is how much business have they lost because we're all too busy executing and not following up on requests, or maybe somebody who's actually connected to an opportunity goes away just before the decision. Maybe they have a holiday or something like that. There's lots of challenges that exist in closing the new business. So the impact to the agency is really, number one, this is a big one, is trust ends up being eroded early in the engagement with clients, because, you know, if they talk to two different people, those two different people have different views of who the client is and what the client's about. Or even worse, they don't know the client, and they communicate or give the impression to the new client or prospect that you guys don't know who I am, right? And operational problems, I talked about it, when we overpromise and undercharge because of missing information in the story. And maybe resource constraints don't become visible until the last minute. Oh, we promised to do that for them. Oh my God, right? Everybody's railed on this other project right now. Or worse, we end up duplicating work. Oh, you built that too? Yeah, I built it for them yesterday. Or just mistakes being made because lack of context. Oh, I didn't know this was important to these people. So end of the day is the impact of the single version of the truth is the agency's profitable growth ends up being significantly constrained. So back to this picture, I argue that having a CRM is definitely an important part of the story. And now that Active Demand has a integrated CRM, it's going to solve a lot of the operational problems and challenges of the single version of the truth that I talked about. So the Active Demand CRM And again, it's our sales platform. It's if you're, as you know, with Active Demand, we have all of these different tools that are great for marketing. Many of those tools also are fantastic for sales. So we do have the fantastic call integration. Usually, as us marketers, we're thinking about calls as something that's incoming, and we are looking for attribution. But Active Demand has a fantastic outbound system too for calls. And we're very familiar ourselves with using the dashboards and giving clients the results or demonstrating the value we have for clients, but internally as well, there's some fantastic sales performance dashboard widgets as well. So, and definitely task automation. It's a case that our tasks and our task system is something that we've been talking a lot about, and definitely, as you see, it's permeating through the solution, and it is a fundamental part of any sales platform, is having tasks and fantastic task and task automation system. So really, technically, multiple pipelines. So if you've used other CRMs, definitely this is an advantage because there's pipelines for, like I say, top of funnel where we're bringing on new clients, and then there's definitely sales operations pipelines where we're selling new business into the client. And really, the magic of Active Demand is that it is involved in the entire life cycle of the client. Right? Where if you look at the prospects coming in the door, Active Demand is collecting all of that data from the first touch on the website all the way through to the early engagement, and then definitely as a operations platform or execution platform, it's definitely involved in the client execution. So it gives everybody in the company a 360 view of the prospects and the clients. And with our task management system, it definitely is something that can be extended to sales. There's definitely lots of agencies that are using it internally for managing tasks internally with regards to executing campaigns and et cetera with Active Demand Tech. And we do have permissions-based logins, so you're not having to give the salespeople, if you have dedicated sales folks, full access to all the campaigns, et cetera, that are running for the company. You can really give them a sales view into the platform with a dedicated dashboard. So really, from a total life cycle of a client perspective, Active Demand is the missing piece was really the sales platform, because we're definitely involved with agencies today on the planning, the marketing, onboarding, and scaling the operations of an agency. And now that we have the sales platform as part of the story, it is truly the platform is now truly involved in every stage of the client life cycle and has tons of fantastic details on all the prospects and clients as you progress. So it's really the single version of truth across functional groups, and very important to understand how to leverage this to, again, ensure that everybody has the context for every client. Now, the details of the CRM, it's a case that for the agency, from an availability perspective, it's available today. And it's part of your portal, and if it's not enabled, just talk to support. They will enable the CRM. So if you're using another CRM, the next item is definitely we have fantastic integrations with many CRMs, and that's really one of the strong suits of Active Demand. But from a cost perspective, it's a case that note that the CRM is included at no extra cost for your agency portal. So there might be an opportunity for you to reduce costs by transitioning from your existing CRM to the Active Demand CRM, and there's definitely a lot of advantages to that besides cost. The biggest one is really, again, back to the single version of the truth. The salesperson should be looking at the same information as the marketing folks. There's nothing nothing better for marrying sales and marketing is looking at the prospect through the same lens, so to speak. And for clients, the availability as well is today. And it's from a price perspective, it's included in any SBM, small business marketer or corporate marketer package that you deploy for your client. So again, if you have a client that you're coming in to save their company and they're using spreadsheets for their CRM, then here, you can literally You can offer them a CRM where the salespeople are literally logging in and seeing your brand every single day. One thing I learned when we were an agency is that if we could keep the salespeople happy in our client's organization, let me tell you, we're in for life, right? Because if somebody says, you know what, I'm thinking I'm not going to use this agency anymore, the salespeople will dig in their heels, right? So it's definitely something to consider. One is if clients don't have a CRM, it's fantastic to be able to provide one for your clients that again, they're seeing your brand, and yeah, it's at no extra cost, and you can really literally bake this into the retainer and save some budget for your client, and you can use that budget for helping grow the business. Now, deploying, it's a case that if you haven't deployed a CRM before, I think there's some really easy things to think about when you're deploying the Active Demand CRM. Really you need a champion internally, right? And the higher up the chain, the better, because really with regards to executing on business, you know, it can't be just anybody that is looking at the CRM. I think it's a case that at the top level, you need a champion that champions the concept of having a CRM. And arguably, what you want to do is definitely get the champion on the sales side and marketing discussing, you know, what is a lead, the same stories you do with clients, go through this yourselves, and really just sort of get the meeting of minds, and then plan a rollover date. If you're using something else, spreadsheets or even your project management software, it's a case plan when you're going to actually roll this out so that you can train the people that are involved in this, maybe change some workflows to create the deals, and then get a plan together for optimization. So either you can do a waterfall approach like that, or just pilot it, you know, just get a couple of salespeople, give them the CRM, get a couple of success criteria, and get them going, right? It doesn't require a lot of work, is the reality. So, and definitely you've done this with the clients, is make a plan for success, make sure that the sales team have appointment schedulers, and make sure that if they're currently using spreadsheets, that you have the data imported into Active Demand, and if you have deals from another system, import them, and set up your basic sales workflows and drip campaigns. So, and then if you're bringing on salespeople, you guys already know the software, you're in the software already, so it should be fairly easy to onboard a salesperson onto the platform. So now I'm just going to switch gears, walk you through what the actual CRM is and what it looks like in the back end. So inside the your account screen, it's a case that you'll see pipelines here, and with the CRM enabled, or even if it's not, you should be able to have this new pipeline screen. And really what the pipeline is the stages of the deal, right? So, and I definitely, when you're looking at stages of the deal, you know, every salesperson has their own opinion on this, but I would always set up the stages such that they are signal based. In other words, it's something the client does or prospect does rather than what the salesperson or account manager is doing, and assign some probabilities, because if there's probabilities, then if there's deal values applied to it, you will actually be able to use our forecasting reports to get a good handle on the forecasting. And then deal status, you can have custom statuses, like here we have open, closed won, closed lost, but you can also have, for example, different close types. So you can close loss due to competition, closed loss due to loss of budget, this type of stuff, and there is reporting on the lost deals as a function of status. So you can set up your, and I typically would recommend setting up a sales pipeline for bringing in new business, and then a services pipeline for scaling or increasing the size of the the business you're doing with your account. So if there's somebody saying, you know what, you're doing this, I need more services, then create the deal and actually work the deal just like you do any other deal at the top of the funnel with the salespeople. And what that does is, again, it helps you with your forecasting and resource allocation. Now, the funnel is a little bit different because quite often there's a, the client's involved and there's a, we're waiting for resources, and then really at the end of the day the deal is only closed when we invoice them for what they agreed to pay, or they've signed a contract, whichever. Now, in the on the main dashboard, there's two very important dashboard widgets that are, I argue, should be on every agency's dashboard, and one is the organization Kanban. And this is really the single version of the truth I was talking about that really helps the organization understand where a client is in the life cycle, right? And with the org Kanban, and our company, we do it ourselves, is you can take one of your clients, whether it's a strategic, you can classify them using a custom, a single option pick list custom field on the org. But really, you can literally set up custom fields talking about what type of services they're purchasing from you. And definitely this is important, is internally discussing internally with what's happening with the client, and setting up tasks, etc., for execution for the clients. And the really nice thing here is you can actually see everything that's been going on with the account, as far as visiting the website, opening emails, all of this type of stuff. And you also get to see which deals are open, closed, etc. So it's a nice single view of how you're engaging with clients. And then once you're ready to engage with the clients, you can literally just create the client account right here, and it saves you a bunch of steps because you have all of the data literally in the system already, so there's no duplication of effort. And with regards to the main interface for the salespeople, one is the tasks, and tasks can be automated with the workflows or campaigns. But right in here, this is typically what the salesperson is engaging with, is the deals. And the deals screen is similar to a deal screen in other systems. It's really just these stages of the deal value, and of course the probability of close, the estimated close date, very important, right? So you can do forecasting, the people involved in the deal. Again, the activities, this gives you a view into the contacts associated with the deal, any related deals, and of course the chat and tasks are, again, these are things that are associated with the deal. So there's a nice interface for the salespeople, and there's also ways for even tasks here. The tasks can be assigned to the deal as well as assigned to accounts, campaigns, etc. And it's a case that some of the sales tasks that are really nice is, for example, the email sales task. This is nice because you can literally schedule this task with automation to say, hey, I've always, after the deal's open, I always got to send this email to the client 2 weeks later. And it's a task, and it's a case that they see the task and they can edit it or just send and complete. So it's a case that it makes it very easy for you to set up systematic processes for the salespeople that include emailing clients, etc. And yes, as far as these deal objects and automation, there is a deal workflow action, and this is I would recommend you putting this, of course, in your lead processing workflow. And this is the object here, and this is for creating and updating deals in process. So if this says update an existing deal, that means there's a deal in this workflow that we're going to update. And really, something to note with this workflow action is that there's just like if somebody books an appointment that triggers this workflow, the appointment is carried along inside the workflow. And there can be multiple deals with a single client. So it's a case that if this deal is created inside this workflow, it's the case that you can put in weights after the deal is created, and literally update the existing deal if certain things happen, etc. So you can update the deal that's in progress as well. So that's pretty much the entire story. It's really the summary here is active demand for your agency is definitely fantastic operational infrastructure. The things that I've highlighted here today is that definitely consider the challenge that you have in your organization about the single version of the truth. And really the organization Kanban is a really nice way to classify and get a single version of what the status of an organization is that everybody agrees on, and they can engage, different people can engage with the organizations. And then definitely very important, as I argue, have a dedicated CRM for your sales organization, because really the whole process of managing a deal, managing an opportunity for a salesperson, the tool that they need has to make that process easy for them. And it's a case that, yeah, with the integrated CRM, it reduces a lot of labor for you folks, because it's a case that it's integrated. There's no integration challenges or API limitations because it is baked in. And it's a case that, again, the deals, you're now able to do full forecast reporting for yourself, first touch, et cetera, just like you're doing with your clients, but with a lot less effort. And don't forget, on the support portal, there's lots of details about the engaging with deals and the workflow actions and the concept of the workflow actions, and definitely the tasks are a big part of the platform. And I argue it'd be very useful for you and your staff to, if you haven't went through the academy, then definitely go through the academy to learn more about tasks, etc. But yeah, so with that, I'm just going to end this, and hopefully this was educational for you and a fantastic use of your time.